Your local sports authority is the Ryan Waters Sports Drive. Now, here's your host, Ryan Waters.
The Kelowna Falcons have named Canadian Al Cantwell as their new head coach for the 2011 summer, replacing outgoing coach Kevin Frady. Cantwell is excited for the opportunity to come to Kelowna, as he's no stranger to a head coaching role, currently in the state of Louisiana.
Yes, sir. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, coaching C.E. Bird High School. It's 5A high school in Shreveport, about 2,300 kids at our school. And this is going to be entering our fourth year here at LSUS. Took that job. It's actually the baseball field is just adjacent in right field to LSU Shreveport, where I played and coached for 7 years.
Yeah, that's all right. And actually, before you got there, if people didn't read our press release, you're a Canadian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Originally born in St. John, New Brunswick, and I lived there for the first 6 years of my life before moving out to Calgary, Alberta. I played softball in Calgary basically my whole high school career up to 11th grade before I moved east to New Brunswick, where I ultimately ended up graduating. And then I played in the what is the name of the national tournament? I'm not sure, but I played for Team New Brunswick out there in Medicine Hat, and that's where I ended up meeting Coach Kubasek, who invited me to go play at Prairie Baseball Academy. So I went there for my first 2 years, my freshman and junior year, which ultimately led to an opportunity possibly to go to San Diego State, which didn't pan through for me due to injury, and then ultimately ended up coming down to LSU Shreveport and haven't left since.
Well, let's talk about you as a coach. I want to know your philosophies as a coach.
You know what? I like to coach a lot the way that I played. I like to play hard, I like to play aggressive and fast. And one of my mottos that I use with my team all the time is the more we can speed the game up for the other team, the better. I was a base stealing guy. I like to play aggressive on the bases, which I think is a really good, especially at the high school level. It's an advantage for us because I feel like I get to try and steal bases every time somebody's on base. So we've been very successful at that down here, and as we were at LCUS, we were just a very aggressive, small ball hit and run. Drive balls in the gap, looking to take advantage of defensive mistakes, and on the pitching side of it, kind of the same attitude. Be very aggressive and put the pressure on the hitter, throw a lot of strikes, work off the fastball, and make them put 3 or 4 hits together to score some runs and stay away from that big inning. So just like be very aggressive and play to our strengths more than necessarily the opponent's weaknesses, and see what happens.
Do you feel that part of the game is missing in today's baseball game from a lot of teams, the game of speed and small ball and bunting guys over, sacrificing yourself? Do you think that's kind of missing now?
You know what, I do, and I guess, and I don't know if this is just me, I think that a lot of coaches, and I'm not meaning this negative towards any coaches, but I think we put a lot of chains on our players, and another part of my philosophy is that I like to teach the guys how to play the game, so that by that time that game comes, I'm just there at third base or in the dugout trying to help them gain as much information as they can for them to be successful. So I'm not the guy that's over there necessarily putting on bunt steals and steal signs, but hopefully through practice and experience, we've talked about this is a good time to run, this is a good time to bunt, and just trying to help them through games, because ultimately players are the ones that win the games. And coaches' jobs are just to prepare them to, put their skills and gain the knowledge that they need to during the game, to be successful during that game and hopefully come out on top.
How will you coach a bunch of guys that are coming from all over to coach or teaching, as you mentioned? How do you do that with a bunch of guys that don't know each other, they're coming from all parts of everywhere? How will you do that in Kelowna?
You know what? That's the part that I am most excited about, and kind of the same thing at Bird High School. I was coming into Bird High School, a new coach, and I was actually the third coach in 3 years. So you're taking, 60 kids that are part of a baseball program that don't have a clue about the coach, and you get new kids every year. And same experience is going to happen this summer. I've met maybe 2 commitments that we have for this summer, but so we're going to have kids coming in from programs, all successful programs all over the country. Some of them are going to have different philosophies and different strategies. They're used to bunting or playing, long ball or whatever. Some guys are going to be used to throwing more fastballs or curveballs. And that's why I'm so excited. I'm going to get to learn. I'll probably learn more from them and what they do at their programs than I can bring to them. But my job is to get them together, build that sort of team chemistry and build those goals, find the goals that we want from our kids, what they're ultimately trying to gain from the experience of playing for the Falcons and being there all summer, and trying to harness that together to make common goals between us and build what I'm expecting to be a very successful summer for the Falcons organization.
You know, it's kind of funny with General Manager Mark Nonis told me that you were coming on board as a Canadian, as the head coach of the Falcons in the 2011 season. I got to thinking that the Falcons are the only Canadian team in the West Coast League. Did that weigh in on your decision?
Absolutely. You know, we have family out west. I have 3 uncles that are based in Victoria. You know, my mother and father both live in Calgary. And like I said, it was stated in that press release that was out there, you know, I'm excited. I think baseball in Canada has really led me to all these opportunities that I've had, you know, I've been blessed with in my life and where I am today. So I'm very excited to get back and, you know, be part of Canadian baseball. And I am very excited that we are the only team north of the border. And I think we put a good product together. It could be very exciting for, you know, not just Kelowna, but, you know, all areas of Western Canada.
You're no rookie when it comes to Kelowna. You've been here before.
I have been there. I've been there many times. Actually, I was just there a couple months ago for a friend's wedding, and you know, it's just a beautiful country. I love the city. I love the people. I can't wait to take my family up there to see it. They'll be seeing it for the first time. I compare it to Destin, Florida, which is, northwest Florida, and it's just a real traveler's destination for the summertime, real touristy, which I remember Kelowna to be. You know, it's a place I remember going there when I was 9 years old with my mom and stepdad on a camping trip. We went there camping for a week, and my favorite part about it was going to Scandia, the indoor-outdoor putt-putt. I think that's what it's called, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. That was like my favorite place in the world as a kid. So it brings back a lot of memories, and like I said earlier, I'm excited in 20 different ways as to why I'm coming to Kelowna this summer.
Let's hope your favorite place this summer will be Elk Stadium.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
What are your goals personally now as a head coach of a team in the West Coast League?
You know, a big part of this, getting started, is just building those relationships, you know, and already just talking to coaches through the South and all over the country, talking to coaches of these programs that have been successful at higher levels than where I'm at right now at the high school level, you know, and just hearing the priorities, what they expect for their guys that they're trusting to send us for the summer, you know, what they want, you know, a lot of coaches express they want their guys to have a commitment to the weight room and ultimately, you know, preventing injury. They don't want their kids going north for the summer and coming back with sore arms or needing surgeries and stuff like that. So just getting to talk to these coaches and hear what's important to them and what's kind of helped them with the success of their programs is just kind of building that resume and kind of philosophy in my head, you know, like what works for them. You know, you might only take one tiny thing from this program, but, you know, it all adds up and ultimately it's going to help me to get to where do I want to go in the end. I'm not sure where it's going to take me, but I just know that it's adding on a resume and the experience. I know the game of baseball is crazy. You get to meeting and talking with people and you never know where you're going to end up. It's kind of the same philosophy here as how I got to Kelowna. You know, it was just through simple conversation, talking baseball and players, and all of a sudden, you know, we're heading north for the summer.
You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. How are you going to beat the Wenatchee Apple Sox? Everybody here in Kelowna doesn't like the Apple Sox because they keep beating the Falcons, certainly the last 3 years in the Eastern Division Final. How are you going to beat those guys?
Well, you know what? Like with every program, there's always that one team where everybody kind of gets a little bit more excited. Yeah. And you know, I don't have a lot of experience with the West Coast League, but I relate it to a rivalry we have down here in Shreveport. You know, the crosstown rival, Captain Shreve Gators. You know, who each year it seemed to be beating Burt High School. And kind of the philosophy that I brought to the table with Burt is, you know, we got bigger goals and aspirations of just necessarily beating that one team. You know, if you start making smaller goals and start putting the focus on what you do and, you know, meeting our team goals and things that we want to do each game, that's going to take care of itself. So, but at the same time, I know the players and the fans, they get real excited about those games. But if you treat that one Wenatchee game any bigger than any other game, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. That's just one of my beliefs. So, you know, what will we do different when we get to that big series? Hopefully not a whole lot. You know, hopefully we'll just continue that recipe of success that we're going to build there for every game. So I don't know if that sounds too cliche coming from a coach, but ultimately that's kind of how I like to look at it.
Cantwell and the new crop of Falcon players will be in Kelowna in early June as they start on the road this year in Bellingham on June 3rd. Season tickets make a great stocking stuffer this holiday season and are available now by calling the Falcons headquarters at 250-763-4100. Until next time, I'm Ryan Waters.
This has been the Ryan Waters Sports Drive.